Welcome to From Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. This is a space for honest conversation, for moments when something inside feels heavy or disconnected. Each episode features practitioners and wellness spaces sharing the intention behind their work so you can feel into what resonates and discover support you can experience directly. Wherever you're arriving from today, you are welcome here. Welcome to another episode from Loneliness to Overflow with Matina. Today's guest actually got very curious. Curious about life, curious about opportunities, curious about what else is out there that she hadn't heard of, that wasn't traditionally taught, but very profound and very groundbreaking, if you will. So I'm very excited for this conversation with Renu. Renu, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. I'm so excited for our listeners to hear what else is possible when we actually look outside of the box. When we don't get stuck into what the world is telling and teaching us and making us believe that that's the only way to discover yourself or healing or whatever it is that you're looking for at that moment. Before we step into the conversation, please introduce yourself for the listeners.
Okay, my pleasure. So my name is Renu Arora, and I am an energy healer. So just to sort of give you, there's so many kinds of energy healing. So we're going to narrow that down a little bit. So to put me in sort of perspective, if you look at a lot of healing or therapies out there, so many of them, like whether it's food or medicine or even a lot of energy healing modalities, they focus on managing symptoms. Like that's really what they do. They try to make you feel better, but they don't actually get to the root cause of the issue. They don't give you the why, the understanding of why this problem started in the first place. And what I do is I help people find and heal the actual emotional root cause, the real reason that they're struggling and suffering. And then, so that's like the specific emotional trauma that they're carrying, because at the root, it's all about emotional trauma. So once you heal the issue itself, then the relief can happen instantly and permanently. Discovering that is really what started me on this whole journey and what Matina was just alluding to.
It is so unthinkable that a permanent solution for something that is chronic, for something that's been long time researched and the traditional ways couldn't find a way. So how can you find a way? There's so many questions when it comes to this. Before we even start the conversation, I'm going to say this upfront. Medical system is great to the extent as to what it does for people and how it helps and cures people. What we are offering here is an alternative to when you do not find a solution. We're not telling you not to find medical help. We're telling you, please go. Seek all the help, seek everything. Don't leave any stone unturned. And that also means also look at other modalities, opportunities for you to discover yourself, wherever the pain is, so that it can get to the next level of, I want to say evaluation. It was a really wrong word to use, but you are evaluating yourself. You are evaluating where in your body do you feel the pain? Do you feel the emotion? What keeps coming back as a loop thought over and over and over again that we cannot get rid of? Energy work is beyond logic. So this conversation is going to be beyond logic.
Yep.
If any of you are doubtful, curious, questioning things, I celebrate that. Because in every single emotion, it means that there is something that is sparking your curiosity. So listen with a curious heart. Be open in this conversation for yourself as we explain what the journey has been for Renu specifically and how she came to do what she's doing today. With that all said, Renu, what was your loneliness or disconnection moment that led you into the overflow of helping others that you're living today?
My journey has been interesting. The disconnection, like the thing that I felt I had to overcome really happened well after I started getting into energy work. It wasn't from the beginning. Energy work was something I just sort of fell into. My background, I was a registered dietitian, and I discovered through encountering, like, there's a whole twisty turny story which got me into this, but I it was divinely lit. Like, I know this now. But I discovered that yes, there's an emotional root cause to everything. And yes, if you can heal that, if you can get underneath that, the problems go away. And as a dietitian, I spent all my days trying to help people manage symptoms. How do you not have too much, like, how do you avoid lactose in your diet? How do you avoid gluten? How do you avoid soy? All the things. And then I realized you could actually heal it. And so that's a turning point. But I did all this. I worked with a mentor. I had a there was another woman who, she was my rock. Like, she had all the knowledge, and she and I worked together to explore this brave new world. So I had like nothing. I was starting from pretty much zero, a little bit of knowledge. And so she and I worked together for a couple of years, 2.5 years. We developed our own modality together. We even wrote a book together. It was fantastic. And then about 6 months after that book was written, that was probably my absolute lowest moment. That's when I thought that's when I was afraid that my career was over. I mean, I'd literally the book came out in October, November. I left my dietetics practice at that time. I launched, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I thought I had this partner beside, like, in my corner, and that we were doing this together. And she, for whatever reasons, also not worth getting into, she kind of got freaked out. So she wanted to pull back, and I'm like, no, this is all so excited. We have to share this. Like, everybody's got to know about this. Like, we can't. And she said, you got too far too fast. We're gonna get in trouble. And so she was afraid that I was gonna, like, drag her into some catastrophe of some sort. I don't know. Yeah, whole story behind that. But that was I suddenly lost my mentor, my source of all knowledge that had come through her channeling information. And then the two of us would work together and piece it together and make sense out of it. And what we'd learned just would grow step by step by step. That was the big low. But it also became a massive turning point for me, because at that point I realized I had to search outside of this one person. I had to kind of enter the great big world, and get information elsewhere. So I got really lucky. Again, finally guided. I was working with a business coach at the time, and he had said, "You need to be on the internet. You need to do a podcast." Essentially, that's what it was. You need to do a podcast, and we brainstormed. I did. Oh no, the way to do it, you interview people every week, because then you have a reason to be out there and connecting with people and all that. I'm like, well, what can I do? Like, what podcast would I do? And I decided to create a podcast, Science Meets Spirituality. And I said, I'm going to interview, like, I want to learn about all the healing modalities. I've found a different healer, different modality every single week to interview, and just find out, okay, tell me all about this modality, how it works. And as I did that, I picked up new information. I was like, oh, that's cool. I don't do that. I think I can use that. And I would, like, cherry pick and try and incorporate everything I could find from every single modality I encountered. And it just made my modality, it's called the accelerated release technique, ART. It just made my work better and better and better. And so that really just opened the door. Like, it's just I realized then that that's what I was meant to do. I wasn't meant to just pull from one person. I was meant to really be open to everything, all the things. And when you're open in that way, you can do amazing stuff, because there were no limits, there were no boundaries. I can incorporate anything. And it's been quite a wild ride.
It is so important to take a pause here for a minute. When divine is guiding us and supporting us, and new opportunities, new people, new circumstances are being shown to us, and we're so excited on this path. And then out of the blue, it stops because the one rock that you had is not there anymore.
Mhm.
That moment for a lot of people is like, okay, I'm just going to go back to what I know. I'm going to do what I know. And that's where I'm going to stick to because this is uncertain. So, what you did is actually the opposite of that. You became very curious. You were like, I'm just opening the gates. I'm going to learn about every single thing. I'm going to see what it actually entails and how it helps people. Because at the end of the day, that was the mission to help people feel
Mhm.
better, do better, create better, be better in their own skin, right? And that is what is so present for me right now that the curiosity didn't stop when the block appeared. The curiosity actually widened so that more information could find you, so that
Mhm.
more experience could find you, and you could build upon what you had done and researched and learned so
Yeah, that's exactly it. There was no turning back for me. Like there was literally no way to turn back. I had already closed the door on my dietetics career. So it's like full steam ahead. Let's do this and let's go big.
And even when people are like closing one door and the door that they walk through is not in the way it needs to, it
Mhm.
does get scary. It does get
Yeah.
uncertain. It does get
Mhm.
like, am I doing the right thing? Have I made the right choice? Is I hurting anyone around me with my choices? How was that for you?
I was well, so when you first asked, what was the low point, I thought I was going to talk about a later low point. So it was interesting because I was married. I had my ex-husband now, part of the story. He made enough money. So it didn't matter that my business was not super success. I mean, it was just starting as something completely brand new. So I wasn't in a position to like make a huge splash. I was able to just sort of grow really slowly and steadily. And that was like the next big hurdle was I was doing this work, and like I said, I ditched my career to do this work. Around the same time, my husband was really uncomfortable with it. My husband, he thought energy work was woo woo. He was kind of tolerating me doing it that whole time, but it really kind of ruined our relationship. We got to a point where he was honestly like he was willing to, like I said, tolerate. He was letting me do my thing. He wasn't stopping me, but on a personal level, he didn't want me to talk about it. So we'd be with friends and or new acquaintances or like his friends or whatever. And literally if they would ask me, so what's going on with you? Or so what are you doing these days? And I'd start like, hey, let me tell you about all this great stuff. He would make sure to change the subject. I became invisible in 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 my own house. So that was like in terms of who got hurt, I got hurt. It was pretty awful to be in that situation. And yeah, no, he was very clear. He was embarrassed. He felt his and whatever were pitying him as, being the guy with the crazy wife. Yeah, so that was hard. And it eventually led to us divorcing, which things are so much better now. But it was a long time coming.
Oftentimes, when we
Mhm.
are starting something new and we are doing something out of the norm, because that's really what you were
That's
doing, you're
what
doing
this is.
something out of the norm.
Yeah.
Having your title as a dietitian is like, okay, that's approved, that makes sense, that is research, you have studied for it, there's a logic behind it, therefore it's real.
And
And
accessible.
then now you're doing energy work, something it's not tangible, something you can't make sense out of always, something that is felt, deeply felt.
Mhm.
And it's completely dismissed so often because we are in this world where go, 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 the go train is faster than the feeling train. But that's the reality of where we are in society. What I personally am so excited about is that the world is turning. The world is being curious and looking at other ways to heal and other experiences to get because the go, go, go is so tiring. It is so
Mhm.
disconnecting. It's so
Mhm.
pardon my language, fake because we get into I'm the mom, I'm the wife, I am the husband, I am the employee, I am the business owner. But we don't say, I'm the human who feels.
Mhm. Yeah, very, very
You
true.
going through that moment right there is the intention is to help and serve people and get big breakthroughs. Whereas it's actually completely the opposite in your own home at that time where you're starting to build something from scratch, where you are actually getting almost punished for wanting to serve. And it happens so often. This is not
Mhm.
something that is,
No, I'm
oh,
not
this
unique.
happened.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't even explain to my family what I do. It's like, yeah, I help people. End of
yeah,
story. That's it.
yeah.
What we really want is step A to step B to C to D to E and then forward.
Mhm.
Energy work is all over the place. It can start here, go to there in 10 minutes, go here in the next day, and then here in the other day. It has no form. What I'm curious about here, Renu, is like, when you now work with your clients and when you get them these big breakthroughs and you can see the relief on their faces, you can see how they are just questioning, like, why did they suffer for so many years?
Mm.
What is the biggest feedback or something maybe that stuck with you? I'm like, okay, that's why I do it. Because you have to have something, that's why I do it. Otherwise, you don't do it.
My real reason for doing it is, and I'd actually spent some time thinking about it. The thing that got me into this work is realizing that you don't just have to like you don't have to just live with stuff. Like I said, when I started, I would like it's about so many people are just managing. They're getting by. They've turned their life into like they're working their lives around this challenge. They can't live the way they want to live because they're too busy trying to just function. And like something easy like a gluten intolerance or lactose. It's like, okay, I want to have dinner. I want to go out to eat. How am I allowed to eat? And it's all work. It's not easy. And so like I said, they just have to live with it. Or even being diabetic or having high cholesterol or all these chronic conditions um that medicine has no idea what to do. They just like I said, just manage the symptoms. Just take a pill or eat these foods and not these foods and try to keep your blood sugars in this level or try to keep it's like, nobody should have to live like that. And so that's what moves me. It's like for me to just be able to see people struggle for so long and then not have to. Just go on and have a happy, fulfilled, joyful life. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning. It doesn't matter how long they suffered. It's the fact that they don't have to do that anymore. And yeah, and that joy on their faces, that realization that you mean I don't have to do this anymore. I love that. That is the moment I live for.
Can 100% agree with that. And it's so beautiful how people actually get to realize how much their emotions drive them,
Mhm.
how much the disconnection to their feeling drives them. What do you do to make them realize that that's what it actually is behind all the symptoms?
Well, that's fun. That's the easy part. Because that just drills down into what I do because everything, like I said in the beginning, everything has an emotional root cause. It's all about like the programming in the subconscious. And I'm gonna sort of say, like most we generally understand the concept of emotional baggage. Like people will say, "Oh, I know I behave this way because of this that happened when I was a kid or whatever." And like on a broad, like general scale, people get it. They get that they were trained into these behaviors. They don't get it's that's literally for everything. That's not just for the few problems which they have connected the dots together. It's for every problem, right? Like when you think about it, babies aren't born thinking they have low self-worth or low self-esteem or that they shouldn't have what they want or, right? They believe they are the center of the world and everything they want, they deserve it and they want it now. And that's beautiful. That is because we are supposed to be the center of our own worlds. We're supposed to manifest the most amazing things for ourselves and let everybody do that for themselves, and everybody gets like a fantastic life, right? You can't live your life for another person. So we all take care of our own needs, and that's the mentality we want. Somewhere along the line, something happened. Something happened where they took on the belief that they are not worthy, that they shouldn't have, that they need to be afraid of this, that, or the other thing. It's an event, it's an experience, it's something that got wired into their subconscious, into their energy field. So what I do is I help people like find out what that is. Usually in the very first session, I will basically say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to find an event from your past that is creating a problem in your life right now. I'm going to connect the dots so directly that it's going to blow your mind. And that's literally, I use a pendulum to connect. So I'll connect with their subconscious. It'll give me some clues. It'll give me an age. It'll give me all sorts of information. Actually, even before that, I'll ask their subconscious, all right, tell me the problem we're going to work on. And it'll give me some clues, and we'll figure out what it is. Oh, I don't feel worthy. I've got this particular fear. I feel like I'm not accepted, or whatever. And then we'll get directed to specifically where that happened, what experience took place where they took on exactly that belief, that feeling. You see it done once and you're convinced. You're like, it's like I pull it out of the air. I can tell you where your problem came from. Yeah, you see it one time, and then
Divine guidance is beautiful.
it is phenomenal.
It
It is
is
really
so
wild.
powerful. Even if it's not making sense to you right now, try it. Play with it. Be curious about it so that you can see if it is a right fit for you. If it's not, nothing lost. You just had a new experience. And if it is, mind blown into what else is possible for your life, where you don't have to manage your symptoms anymore, where you don't have to
Mm.
think about, can I go to this restaurant? Can I have this food? Can I be this way? And really lean into what else is possible. And Renu, when you are sharing what you do, you just light up. You're just like, oh, this is the
So
fun
much
part.
fun.
Let's go.
Oh, it is fun though. That's the thing that one of the things one of my pet peeves, early days when I was working with that mentor, she had said to me, actually, no, I had said to her, I'm like, oh my God, her name was Helen. It's like, Helen, this is so much fun. Like, don't you just love doing this? And she just shut me down. She's like, Raiden, this isn't fun. This is people's lives that we're talking about. Because we deal with some heavy duty trauma. But the thing is, when somebody comes to me, well, I already know, because I just know everything has a reason. Everything can be solved. Like, I might not have like all the solutions. I'm not God. I'm working on being able to solve everything, but I haven't got there yet. But even if I can't do it, I know it can be solved. So I'm playing detective. I'm like, okay, we're going to find the root cause, because it's just the problem, the challenge, whatever it is you're facing, is your subconscious sending you messages. It is sending you on a mission to hunt down where this came from. So it's not about the trauma. It's about understanding why it was there. So and I see like big T trauma and little T trauma. I'll give you some examples. And all right, so let me backtrack a little bit. Like, why is it fun? Because when we start, I already see them at the end. I am looking at them. They're already healed. Like, in my mind, this is gone. And we're just going through the motions of putting the pieces together. So that is super cool. And then a friend calls me a spirituality nerd. I'm like, I am a nerd. I'm like, my God, here's your problem, and that's what caused it. That makes so much sense. That is so brilliant. The subconscious is so smart. So I just totally like, that's my jam. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. So I'll give you like some examples. Like I said, big T or little T trauma. So like one woman had this massive fear of abandonment, like huge, all her life. She was always so sure that people were going to leave her, that they were going to leave. And yeah, she never trusted the people around her to stay in her life. even if they were there, like even if they never hinted that they were going to leave, just in her soul, she was always afraid. Oof, big. What do we track it down? We get to, she was 3 years old. She went to dance class and her mom was 20 minutes late to pick her up. That was the event. She remembered that. Like when I reminded her, I was like, okay, we get 3 years old, we get da da da, mom's involved. She went, oh yeah, I remember when I was little and mom was late and I felt like she was never coming back. Because for a 3-year-old, 20 minutes is forever. Like that is an absolute eternity. That is, I have been abandoned and nobody's coming to get me. Right. So from an adult perspective, 20 minutes, like it's no big deal. But to a 3-year-old, it's huge. And so it was that 3-year-old in her that was so sure when people leave, when they go, they're not. So yeah,
I love
the little
love these
things.
stories. I
I've got
love
so
these
many of
stories.
them. I got a zillion of them. So many.
But this is where we get to understand that sometimes we are A, not aware of it, B, not even consciously thinking about it, and yet somehow, somewhere it's always present. It's
Hmm.
always right there in our faces. And that's what this example really shows me. Like it's always there, but for whatever reason, we think we need to live with it because it's always been there. And that is the gist of this conversation completely as well, where we believe one reality is absolute. And this is always the same way. This is also when people are like, I am this way and I will never change because this is who I am. And I'm like, hold on,
That
you
what you
can
want to be?
change. Everyone can change. Even a 90-year-old
Mhm.
year old can change. It's not about not willing to change, it's about being curious and open enough to try. And just like your why was to be that detective who's discovering all the paths to the healing and finding the healing path and helping someone realize the healing, and it's so clear that that is what you live on and that drives you and that really brings the best out of you in
Mhm.
able to serve someone else, right?
Yeah.
I can't commend you enough for not stopping the first time when the mentor left, the second time when your marriage broke down, and that you still were on so adamant. I have this energy from right now around me. It's like I was adamant, Matina. Like I knew I was gonna get it. I got it, and I'm living it, and I'm helping people, and I'm doing it all because I believe so much in it. When we as human beings can believe so much in helping one another, in serving one another, even when it doesn't make sense, is when the world really will change. So thank you for not giving up and helping so many clients get that realization of another way it was possible. Now we have a little ritual on this podcast, which is the previous guest has left a question for you that I'm going to ask you. And it's always so divine. It's always so connected. And this one is no different. So the question
Okay.
I have for you is, what are you ready to let go of and to call into that newfound space?
Mm. What am I ready to let go of? I've been working on this a while actually. Playing small. I feel like it's time. It is time to really expand. I know how much this modality can do. I already teach and train others, but it's time to really explode. And yeah, I've got to let go of the fear that if I put myself out there, I'm gonna get crickets back. I need to, yeah, I need to trust. I need to just,
So letting go of
yeah,
this fear would
letting go
create
of the
new
fear.
space.
Hmm.
And what would you
Open it
fill
up
into
for
that
all the
new
people to come
space?
in. I just see like exponential growth, and it's not necessarily me exponential growth, but it's just, well, this modality, ART is my baby, right? So it's like I don't really, it's like seeing your child grow. It's not me anymore, but space for it to like fill the void, fill the cracks, fill the, because I mean, let's face it, the world is in a really dark place right now. Like things are not good, and we really need a lot of healing. people are needing a lot of healing. They are confronting a lot of demons at the moment. And yeah, it's I I don't think ART is the only thing, but it's gonna be a big one. That's my plan for it. Um,
What I love
yeah.
with your answer and even the question is, and this ties it so beautifully. The question actually is something that you do for your clients. You help them to let go of something so something new can come in place and they can create and live in a different way. And you sharing so authentically, like, I need to stop playing small and really share the essence and the power of this modality that helps others realize something that they thought never would be possible. So the bow on this, what I'm seeing is like you are being helped to help others to create this big impact and really get into a level where life is about curiosity. Life is
Mhm.
about discovery. Life is about the puzzle pieces mixed up and really trying to organize them again. And we all do it in different capacities, in different ways. And this way is what really speaks to you and how you can serve and how you can help and how you are as a human to help and to want to help others. So thank you so much for not giving up till so far and now even going bigger and going wider and spreading the joy and the help that many are seeking. They just don't know where to look. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Renu, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
This is
I'm so
awesome.
excited for everyone to hear it. Anyone who is sparked with curiosity, every information of Renu and the links are in the description below. Please click on the link, reach out, connect, and give yourself the gift of curiosity, of discovering what else is out there for you when you have been told, no, this is the way life. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Till next time. Thank you for spending your time here. Sharing your reflections in the comments or passing this conversation along helps this space reach people who are looking for support and don't always know where to turn. Take a breath as you transition back into your day and notice what's present now. I'll meet you again next week.